¡Viva la raza!
I've been fighting all along. I am 61 years old, and I will fight until the end.
The bottom line is that there are protests all the time at the state capitol. It doesn't affect the economy one way or the other.
I have a dairy in Basketball, Wisconsin, and without Hispanic workers, we would not exist.
This is News 3 at 6.
And good evening. Thousands are angered and calling for action today, protesting as a way to prove their place in Wisconsin's economy.
It is the largest rally at the state capitol since the Act 10 protests 5 years ago this month, drawing around 20,000 people to downtown Madison. Protesters are troubled by 2 bills before lawmakers. We do have live team coverage of today's events. We start with Leah Linscheid, who's been in these frigid temperatures all day long following the crowds. And Leah, what did you see today?
Hi, Michelle. Well, you're looking at a completely different Capitol tonight than from this afternoon, where protesters of all ages really were out here for hours voicing their opposition to these 2 bills. But some protesters we talked to say today's battle, as they called it, isn't a new one. A scene similar to protests past at the Wisconsin Capitol calls to mind memories half a century old for Ramona Villarreal.
Back in the 60s, we marched from Watoma, and I was one of them, from Watoma to Madison. I've been here 52 years, and yet we're still facing the same problem.
Ramona is back now with thousands of others from 15 or more Wisconsin cities, protesting 2 bills they consider anti-immigration and anti-Latino.
And there you have people here who are doing their life, they're working hard, they are good citizens, they pay taxes.
Immigrants is one of the main things that made United States.
A crowd police put at 14,000 people carried signs, some saying Wisconsin is not Arizona, referencing that state's controversial immigration laws. Other signs, often carried by children, pleaded with legislators not to break up their families.
My girl's father, he is a resident here in Madison, Wisconsin, and they send them back. They're going to lose their father, and I don't think that's right.
We have families who have kids or born in the United States.
Protesters promised they would push back against the legislation, even if it's signed into law. Ramona Villarreal says that battle is not new.
I've been fighting all along. I am 61 years old, and I will fight until the end.
Now, police have since upped their estimates of the crowd from 14,000 earlier today to 20,000, as you said earlier, Eric. But they also said they had no reported arrests tonight. So while it was an emotional day for sure, it was also a peaceful one here at the Capitol.
Leah Linscheid at the Capitol. Thank you, Leah. Now, local high school students showed their support for the Latino community. About 200 students from East High School in Madison skipped class to participate. They gathered outside the school at 8:30 this morning to start their walk to the Capitol Square.
This bill is really going to affect everyone. It's just going to affect them socially and economically. And I just want to be here to show my support.
Students waved American flags and held supportive signs on their walk. The goal was to illustrate the role Latinos play in our state's economy, something very evident on farms all throughout the state.
Especially dairy farms, where Latino workers play a very big and labor-intensive role. And as Dave DeLozier tells us, farmers know all too well what a day without Latinos would be like.
That's a 3rd-generation family dairy farm. We've been here since the 50s.
And all day, every day, there is work to be done.
With the family and with milking 900 cows a day, 3 times a day, it takes more than just our family members to keep the farm going.
And that's where 9 Latino employees come in, keeping this dairy running literally around the clock.
Obviously, the Latino workforce is very important to our dairy. They are filling jobs that others don't care to do.
All are here legally and an important part of this farm.
Nelson's been here 7 years.
Day in and day out, they care for the cows, but today would be different.
What time do you think you're going?
Today, to voice their concerns about 2 anti-immigration bills in the legislature, the Latino workers asked to leave to be part of the Day Without Latino March, but not before coming into work to help.
Appreciate very much you guys helping us today, because I understand what you got going on today. I do.
Caught somewhere in the middle, Chuck Ripp has a business to run, but is also concerned about his employees.
We're pro for wanting them to go to the rally. We understand what they're asking for and what their needs are. So we're trying to support them in any way we can.
And while a day without Latinos is being talked about at the Capitol, the reality of it is being felt on a farm.
We would have to probably go in a little bit of a crisis mode for a little bit. There's no doubt about it.
Because while this may be a day without Latinos,
there's no such thing as a day without cows. No.
In Dane, this is Dave DeLozier, WISC News 3.
To accommodate Latino workers and their desire to attend today's rally, the family members did all the work to keep that dairy farm operating. The workers will return to work, but farmers say it illustrates their need.
These protests were all organized against two bills making their way through the state legislature.
But what do those bills do, and where do they stand now? Political reporter Jessica Arp is at the Capitol tonight to explain.
Well, yeah, one of these bills has actually passed both houses and is awaiting the governor's signature on his desk. The other bill has passed the Assembly, but not the Senate at this point. Both, though, have been moving through this building over the last few months. The state assembly has passed a bill prohibiting sanctuary cities in Wisconsin. That means saying cities can't make laws to prevent police from asking about immigration status at arrest for crimes. Republicans believe Madison is a sanctuary city. Madison police say they aren't and do work with immigration officials during serious crimes.
Anyone who is here not committing a crime is not anyone that we are going after, to use your words, in any way. What we want to do is to make sure that if you are committing a crime and you are not here legally, you should face the consequences and be returned to the place you came from because you committed a crime.
So these Latino and immigrant Wisconsinites are here today to let their senators know that they are against this anti-immigrant bill and to let Governor Walker know that they are against this anti-immigrant bill, and we hope that he will join us in opposition.
Now, the other bill being protested has passed both houses. It will prohibit local governments from creating IDs that can be used for voting or getting public benefits and require people instead to just only get a state DMV issued ID. The governor has not said at this point whether he supports either of these measures or whether he will sign the local ID bill. The sanctuary city bill, as I said, it still needs to pass the Senate. I did ask the Senate Majority Leader's office today where that stood. They said it was available to schedule on the March calendar. At this point, the caucus has not talked it over and said, quote, that no senator at this point had said that the bill is a top priority.
All right, a very busy day there at the Capitol. Jessica Arp reporting live for us tonight. Jessica, thank you.
In other news, families of gun violence victims have been pleading for action in recent months to stop what they believe is an epidemic. One Beloit family has been struggling with the loss of their son Marcus to an accidental shooting. It happened the week of Christmas last year. They're still looking for answers as to why the 17-year-old and his best friend had a stolen gun.
Disbelief. I couldn't believe it because he knew better. I raised him better than that. He knew how I felt about guns, and he knew the dangers.
And tonight at 10, we'll hear from them as well as the Milwaukee-based researcher who tells us what an epidemic of car crash deaths could teach us about gun safety. Again, it's coming up tonight on News 3 at 10.
A Columbia County man accused of shooting and killing his wife was in court today. Bail was set at $1 million for Kevin Kruger. He allegedly shot his wife at a hotel in Portage earlier this week. Police found a gun and oxycodone in his car. They believe the couple was going through a divorce. Kruger told police he didn't remember shooting his wife. A man was killed in a head-on crash near Janesville this morning. This one happened at Highway 14 near Emerald Grove Road. Witnesses say a pickup truck was traveling in the wrong direction and hit a semi. The pickup truck driver died at the scene. The semi driver was taken to the hospital with internal injuries. Deputies said the semi driver was wearing a seatbelt. The other driver was not. And your help is needed tonight to find a missing man from Partyville. Jack Dvorak was last seen February 11th in Wyacina. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call the Columbia County Sheriff's Department. That number's on your screen, 608-742-4166.
Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is out millions of taxpayer dollars. Governor Walker signed two bills that affect the organization's funding. One bill restricts how much Planned Parenthood can be reimbursed for prescriptions. The other prevents the state from giving Title X money to any abortion organization. The changes cut funding for Planned Parenthood in Wisconsin by $8 million. Police will be able to conduct strip searches sooner. That's under a new bill. Currently, anyone arrested for a misdemeanor can be strip searched if the person will be held with others for at least 12 hours. Now, the bill would remove the time requirement, which supporters say increases safety for inmates and guards. It now goes to Governor Scott Walker for approval.
Still ahead on News 3 at 6, a UW-Madison student is in trouble for hanging up signs of swastikas.
And 2 Whitewater students are causing a controversy.
Windy conditions will continue tonight, and we'll see even windier weather tomorrow, along with temperatures that could hit the lower 50s. I'll have your full forecast coming up in a few minutes.
An image posted online of 2 students with painted faces is bringing some controversy to a local college.
Felina Joes explains how it's impacting the UW-Whitewater campus.
An image perceived to be racist by some students is causing concern on the UW-Whitewater campus. The chancellor calling the image a misunderstanding, but some students say it draws attention to a larger issue. It's this image spread around social media of 2 students dressed in what appears to be blackface that initially prompted strong words from the chancellor.
The students were very upset. They were very remorseful. They didn't think about the implications and the impact that it would have.
The 2 questioned students told administrators the photo was taken during a facial. Minority students on campus say, despite the picture, there have been other incidents of racist acts on campus.
Young ladies making a Snapchat video of them saying the N-word multiple times, mockingly. Or you have someone who still hasn't been identified writing the N-word on another black student board.
Not much education can take place when you're uncomfortable. It's hard for you to learn or to receive any type of knowledge from anyone or anything without any type of comfortability.
The university's student government is using the hashtag USG Cares to highlight concerns. Chancellor Copper recently formed a task force to address racial concerns to create an action plan.
This is something that certainly we will continue to look at, and we will talk about it, but we'll do more than talking. We will be taking action on a variety of these issues.
In the case of the photo, Copper says the students will not be disciplined. Still, their peers say more needs to be done to make sure everyone feels accepted.
I think that they should be educated on the topic because to me, that's what it sounds like, the lack of education. And as a university, we said that we were going to do that. We were going to educate them on the topic.
The chancellor says she's committed to continuing the dialogue and taking action to make sure all students on campus feel respected and welcomed. In Whitewater, I'm Felina Jones, WISC News 3.
And now Republican Senator Steve Noss of Whitewater is condemning the chancellor and other university officials, saying they should have first checked the facts and not overreacted.
A UW student in trouble for taping swastikas and pictures of Hitler on a dorm room door. The images were put up last month in a room in Celery Hall. The incident gained attention once it was posted on social media. University leaders did address what happened in a letter to students today. The student responsible was disciplined internally, but the victim has not pressed criminal charges.
The perpetrator was dealt with. There was adjudication, there was education, and there was opportunity within the community for conversation and healing. I think that they should be commended for.
And the incident being described on Facebook by the victim as a joke gone wrong. The students were involved in some sort of pranking war. All right, if you think it is warm now, temperatures are expected to rise overnight.
After the break, Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has the good news in his full forecast.
Skies clouded up today as mild southeasterly winds started to bring the temperatures up, and they're going to continue up overnight and into tomorrow. But tomorrow the winds will be even stronger, and wind advisories have been issued by the National Weather Service from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. for all of southern Wisconsin. Those advisories start at 6 a.m. west of the Mississippi River and down into parts of northwestern Illinois, and then eastward toward the Milwaukee area. They start at 11 a.m. and run until 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So we look at wind gust future track. This is what the predicted wind gusts are expected to be about 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can see them in the 35 to 40 mile per hour range. In fact, some places could get up to a brief gust of 45 to 50 miles per hour before those winds start to die down a little bit as we head towards sunset tomorrow night. As we look at the live view from the downtown Madison Edgewater Sky Cam, skies are mostly cloudy, a little bit of haze, a little bit of light fog starting to form. High today 38, the low 17, but right now we're at that high for the day of 38, and temperatures aren't going to fall very much, if at all, this evening. Winds are out of the south-southeast gusting to 30 miles per hour. The humidity at 73% as that climbs later later on tonight, we'll probably see some areas of fog form. Temperatures are in the 30s here, but the 40s are not far to our south and west, and visibility is starting to drop a little bit to the south and west, where some light fog is starting to form. Lots of clouds here, but notice the clearing to the south and west. That's actually in the warmer air on the other side of a warm front that has really boosted temperatures up across parts of Kansas and Nebraska. Temperatures right now in the 80s over southern Kansas, whereas on our side of the front, they're mainly in the 30s. Eventually, as that warm front pushes through, notice those southerly wind arrows bringing temperatures up to the lower 50s for tomorrow. We'll fall back into the middle 40s for Saturday. That's still above normal. Then we'll look for temperatures to drop off a little bit more as we head into the early part of next week. Again, wind advisories 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. tomorrow. Look for a low temperature, or actually temperature staying around 40 this evening, and then slowly rising overnight as drizzle and fog develop. It'll also be windy. Tomorrow, very windy. Those winds gusting to over 35 miles per hour at times. High, though, of 53 with skies turning partly sunny in the afternoon. Pinpoint city forecast for tomorrow, 53 Richland Center, 53 in Verona with some afternoon sunshine. Saturday, partly sunny, 45 for the high in Poinette, 49 in Monroe. Still not bad. To the north and east of Madison, look for cloudy skies tomorrow morning and then some sunshine in the afternoon, up to 53 in Lodi and 52 in Beaver Dam. And then Saturday, look for a high of 48 in Jefferson, 45 in Reedsburg with partly sunny skies. 7-day forecast, temperatures a little more seasonal early next week. 39 on Sunday with a chance for a little drizzle or some flurries in the afternoon. Temperatures mid-30s for next week with not much in the way of precipitation. So pretty quiet forecast after that, but it'd be nice to have the mild weather tomorrow.
Yeah, it will. Thanks, Gary.
You're welcome.
Mike McCarthy changes things at his coaching staff, trying to jumpstart the Packers offense. He'll explain next in sports.
We're still about an hour and 40 minutes away from tip-off in East Lansing, where the Badger men's basketball team goes for its 8th straight win, but they're heavy underdogs against 8th-ranked Michigan State tonight. They'll tip just after 8 with the game on ESPN. The Badgers beat the Spartans at the Kohl Center a month ago, but at the Breslin Center, Sparty is really good. This year, Michigan State 11-2 at home. The only losses to Big Ten heavyweights Iowa and Purdue. Greg Gard says even though the Badgers have lost 8 straight in East Lansing, it's not the Breslin Center that's been the problem.
Sometimes the venue gets overblown. I think we've had success here because we have had very good teams on the floor and very good players. So, you know, obviously the fan base there is terrific. You know, that's a great environment for college basketball. But as I told the team Saturday night before we were in the pregame, those 17 or 18,000 that are in there, they don't matter. You know, they don't play defense. They don't rebound. They can't shoot. So it's just our 5 against their 5, and then our 4, 5, 6, whoever comes off the bench, just do your job.
A week before the NFL Combine, Mike McCarthy had a rare mid-February news conference in Green Bay, pretty much to talk about the new assistant coaches hired this week. One thing McCarthy decided to do to help the offense was to take Alex Van Pelt, who was quarterbacks and wide receivers coach, and make him just quarterbacks coach. The receivers wanted Luke Getsy to be their position coach, so McCarthy agreed, and he hopes that'll make the offense, at least the communication, click again.
We had a plan last year. Wasn't executed, obviously, to the level that we look to achieve. I think more's been made of it, frankly, as an excuse. And with that, the excuses are over. We've changed it, you know, adjusted, frankly, the job responsibilities back more to what we've done in the past. And you know, my outlook is that hopefully it'll be a much better process.
The NBA trading deadline has come and gone. The Milwaukee Bucks didn't do anything to the roster, so the 22 and 32 Bucks will go with what they've got. The rumored trades of perhaps Greg Monroe and perhaps Michael Carter-Williams never came about, so the Bucks will keep their core of young stars and hope the future is still as bright as it seemed at the start of the season.
I think we're building, and we still have a lot of young guys that we're trying to, you know, develop and figure out who they're going to be. Before you can start filling spots, you got to know what you have, and so I think that's what we're in the process and learning how to win. And you know, we have 28 games left, and you know, we feel that we can be a lot better.
They've just started the 2 150-mile qualifying races at Daytona. Matt Kenseth won't run until the second Can-Am duel. No matter what, he'll start Sunday's 500 on the outside of row 1 next to pole sitter Chase Elliott. The Stanley Cup champion Chicago Blackhawks visited the White House and, as usual, presented President Obama with a Blackhawks jersey, but then team owner Rocky Wirtz had a big surprise for the president. Wirtz pulled out a lifetime parking pass for the president, good for any event at the United Center in Chicago. Obama called it the best gift he's ever received at the White House. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Michelle Carolla. Tonight on the 1 Hour News at 9, a behind-the-scenes look at how the Mars Curiosity rover works. What scientists are hoping to learn from the red planet is a special report along with the Foxcast and sports. First on Fox at 9.
Michelle, thanks.
Looking forward to that warm-up, Gary.
Temperatures tomorrow, lower 50s, but we could see winds gusting to 40 to 45 miles per hour at times. Mid-40s for Saturday and upper 30s for Sunday. So a little bit cooler for the weekend, but still not too bad. Temperatures early next week, a little bit closer to normal.
All right, Jay will fill us in on the Badgers tonight and the action at Daytona. Have a good one, folks.
Away from your TV, don't miss a thing. Get breaking news and weather from Madison's #1 digital news source, channel3000.com.